everybody. Listen, I am here to do this challenge with my sister from Jazzy V, one of the 5 fabulous women on telling about your life story or your something about a little bit about yourself, and it's supposed to be like 30 minutes. I'm not gonna tell everything. I'm gonna tell you because I talked to my family and my sister, and it took me a long time to come and do this because certain things should be left unsaid in my life. Um, my name is Judith Deanne Caldwell. And by the way, let me tell y'all something. I do wear dentures and I broke them. Okay? So this is really hard for me to do with no dentures in my mouth. So I was born in Birmingham, Alabama in November 27, 1960. So that makes me 59. We moved to Baltimore, Maryland. I think I was at the age of 5 and my sister was 2 or 3. 2 or 3. And we moved up there so my dad could find work with my Uncle Pete. And plus my dad, he was trying to get out the South. My dad was a rebellious person. He didn't like the way things were going. I'm just going to put it like that. And so we moved to Baltimore. And let me see, 65, I think it was 65. And yeah, I was 5. I was 5, okay. We moved to Baltimore in 65.
So I was just 1.
You were
I mean,
one?
I was I was born in 64.
Okay. We had a very good life up there in Baltimore. My mother, she was a good mother. And she took care of us. Anything we wanted and wanted to do, she provided for us. My dad, he was in construction and he wasn't hardly home all the time. He mainly stayed in the street. He was a street man. I'm going to tell you that. He was a street man. He ran the streets. He went to the racetrack, Pimlico racetrack. He betted on horses. He was a drinker. He was an out there man, you know, when my mom was with us taking care of us. And I do have a brother. He's passed away. And since we're doing this, my mom's passed away, but I'll get to that. I want to show y'all a picture of my brother. Had a very, very, very attractive brother. I mean, his body was like a temple. He had no tattoos or nothing like that. He played basketball, played sports.
He was in the Marines.
He went to the Marines and
A student through high school.
A student through high school. That's why
Very
I have my
intelligent.
sister here with me because she's gonna help me with this. Very, very, very intelligent.
As is my sister, very intelligent too. Always have been.
There's more pictures of him. Okay. So, with that being said, it's only 2 of us left. And we don't get to see each other all the time because she lives in Birmingham, Alabama, and I live in Sylacauga, Alabama. And we don't get to see each other a lot. At one time, it was our work that kept us apart. Now, neither one of us are working because I'm on disability. And she's on disability. So now we try to come together, you know, because we have no mom, we have no brother. We still have a dad. My dad is living in Birmingham. Okay. I was a very, very rebellious child. I did a lot of running away. I knew Baltimore like the back of my hand. I got around in that city. I moved around in that city like I owned it. Uh, in that walk of life, I met a lot of people. I had boyfriends in different areas like West Side, East Side, North Side. I had boyfriends all over. And I got involved with knowing a lot of prostitutes and pimps. And in going to school, okay, let me tell you about this. My mom left my dad soon. She moved back to Sylacauga. I know I'm skipping a lot of parts. She moved to back to Sylacauga, Alabama with her family. And my dad eventually came on to try to get her to come back with him. They were high school sweethearts. They went to
A&M.
A&M Community College, and back in them days, uh, you didn't know too many black people who went to college. My grandmother was a school teacher, and my granddaddy in Sylacauga, he was a concrete pourer or whatever. He owned a company. And back then, you didn't know many black people who had a large amount of money, you know, and big farms and stuff like that. So my grandparents on my mom's side were very rich. My mom um, was the only girl, and she had 4 brothers.
It was 5.
5 brothers, uh-huh.
Uncle Rudolph.
Yeah, because my grandmother had a child out of wedlock.
Carla.
And go back now. Go play. I'm running my grandkids away. And my granddaddy, he was a runaround man with different women and stuff, but he took care of my grandmama and everything like that. She, you know, had a nice home, and all. So at that age, I think I was about 3 or 4 years old. I used to go to school with her in Selma, Alabama, and my mom sent me to stay with her in Alabama when I was a little girl. Where were we? Oh, we were in Birmingham at the time, so I think it was in between the move to Baltimore to, it was in between that move. But I went to school with my grandmama in Selma, and she taught me how to read. I was reading Reader's Digest at 4 and 5 years old. I could read real well. I was real smart. And okay, we're gonna leave it like that. Okay, so my mom, I think, after we were in Baltimore or whatever, my mom sent my sister here. Well, my dad's folks, they come from, he comes from a good stock also. You know, they stay in Birmingham, where my mom folks stayed in Sylacauga. My dad folks, they were, you know, richly endowed. They had very large amounts of money and did everything. They were in construction or roofing and building houses and.
Yeah, Grandpa worked for the mines because he had got that black rancher. So that's how he was the first person on that block after he moved from the country, from Folsom,
Alabama.
Yeah, I think. But anyway, he worked in the mine.
He worked in the mine.
And he bricked his house. Owned his first house, bricked it before, you know, a lot of people on that block.
Yeah. Well, back in them days, black people weren't supposed to have money.
Mm-hmm.
And both my grandparents from both walks of life had considerably of good money. So, okay, let me get to Baltimore. Staying in Baltimore. Like I said, I was a type girl in high school to where I made my own clothes. My mom made our clothes. And we were the kids on the block that had pretty hair. My mom did hair too, because she took it up in school. We had pretty hair. We had nice clothes. We weren't trying to be better than anybody else, but from the way I took it, my mom took care of us and did really, really, really well with us. And my sister, I think, did you flunk out a grade or
Oh
something?
my God, it's not about me. It's about you.
No, I know this is not about the reason why you went back to Sylacauga. The reason why you went to Sylacauga. My sister came back to Sylacauga. My mom sent her up here. I don't know what happened, but she went to Sylacauga and stayed with my grandparents. And I was in Baltimore. I was in Baltimore when she stayed down here. You know, we were always separated to where we didn't really get a chance to know each other that well. When I was in one place, she was in another place, and along with my brother. So she's very close to my brother. She's more closer to my brother because they when they went as a package. They went together. So after my brother died, I I only thought of him as being still in Baltimore. And see, she, by knowing my brother all the time, it hurt her more than it hurt me. So I just think of now like he's still in Baltimore. That's way I put it. And I don't know how she thinks, but that's just the way I put it. Um, okay, I'm trying to think of. Okay, let me see. At 15, my mom and dad were split up. I came to Sylacauga, and I asked my granddaddy, could I go back to Baltimore and finish school with daddy, since he was up there. And he put me on a plane, sent me back to Baltimore. And I guess me and my dad didn't see eye to eye a lot, you know. And I left home. I ran away again. I was always running away with my mom at home and my dad at home. I always was putting dust in somebody's face. I was always running away. Nobody never put me out. I ran away all the time. And I ran away uh, not so far from home. It was around the corner and to these people houses, Katie and Dee Ingram. And they had a daughter, Gloria. We called her Boo Boo. And she had 4 brothers. And I ran away with them so I can come to their kitchen window, and look at our house from the back and see everything. See my dad leave for school, for work or whatever. And at the time, my mom was in Sylacauga. Okay, so my mom, I would go back to the house and get little clothes and get little things or whatever that I needed and all that. So Sylacauga, no, let me see. Okay, my mom finally left and moved back to Sylacauga. My dad followed her about a year later to try to get her back because they were really high school sweethearts. And I don't know why my dad mistreated my mom or did what he did, but he was that type of person. And I finished school on my own. I ran the streets at night, but I would get up from whatever corner I was in Baltimore, get on the mass transit and go to school. I went to school. I graduated from Evanston High School, and I had no problems in school, but I did have a problem with running the streets. And I did a lot, and it was told to the principal of my school that I was staying at home by myself. So she talked to me, and she, had very good contact with me in school, and would make sure I, were in school and doing what I was supposed to do, because I had nobody really but myself to advise. I had no advisors or nobody who can tell me what to do and what not to do. So I'm looking at this time up here. So I was a pretty much rebellious child. Like I said, I'm not gonna say everything. I'm not gonna tell y'all everything about my life because, like my husband, he told me to keep it with Cooking Judy, and my sister told me that don't everybody need to know.
I say everybody, it's her testimony. So if she want to tell you what she want, that's fine. But I just
Well, and then I have 14 grandchildren.
wow, I forgot that.
And a lot of things I don't want them to know. And I'm raising one of my son's boys, uh, Colin, and he has the other one with him, and they're interracial children. They are, and
They're beautiful.
yeah, they're beautiful children. And their mom, she's not right. She right, but she not right. She had to go away and take care of herself. I don't know if she's gonna come back into their lives or whatever. But my son, he raises one and I raise one. So at 60 years old, 59, 60, I'm raising children again. I have Skylar over all the time. They all like to be around me. I guess I'm that type grandmama. I have Skylar, she comes around. Alea, she comes around. And my other grandkids, they all like really to be around me. So I try to be a good grandmother. And right now, I don't think they need to hear certain things. And I love money. I love to shop. I'm a shopaholic. I buy shoes and don't even wear them. I buy clothes and don't even pull the tags off of them. I've always been that way in life. If I couldn't get it, I found out where to get it. My clothes and my shoes and money in my life. My money is so important to me. And I've always been able to go out and get that money. But now, okay, when I moved back to Sylacauga after graduating. And I graduated. That night, I put on my mom and dad didn't come. I had no one in my family at my graduation. I put on my clothes. I got my graduation outfit with my little hat and everything. And I got on the bus and went to the Baltimore Civic Center. And this is where I graduated from. The only people there at the Civic Center that were for me were the people I ran with in the streets. And I was a big street person. I ran the streets, Lord, I ran the streets. But I always got up in the morning to go to school. And I went back to my sweetheart, Byron Mason. I went back to him, and he knew how I was, running the streets and everything, and he couldn't keep up with me, because I was dutching and dodging in little corners and nooks and crannies. I mean, I could move. And so he took me back, and we lived in my mom's house, my mom and dad's house in Baltimore for a while. And that night, oh, they throwing rocks. Stop it!
Go ahead, I got him.
And I moved, wait a minute. Okay, what am I saying? Okay, I went back, I went back to my sweetheart, childhood sweetheart. And he was killed. He was shot down in the streets that I ran. He was shot down in the streets. And he was gonna be a basketball player. He was a good basketball player. He had a little job. He had finished school. He was getting ready to go to college, and he was gonna be a basketball player. So I had to come back home to my mama in Sylacauga. That's why I'm here, Sylacauga, because I couldn't take it. As hard as I was with them streets, I finally came back to him, and God took him away. So I managed to come back here to Sylacauga, stay with my mom for a while, and my dad was already down here. He come back looking for my mom, and my mom had got with another man. She married another man, whatever. So she married twice. Well, twice. She married twice, and my dad had never married nobody. He still has hope. He had hope up until she passed away. And now, okay, my first 3 children were with this guy named Terry Lewis. How I met him, I didn't know how to meet a man, so I said, "No, I'll go to one of these football games they be having here," because this is a football area. We have a lot of people who are in superstars coming from Alabama, Auburn, uh, Birmingham, and this is where the Temptations from, I think. Ain't Temptations from here?
Is that what's his name?
The Temptations are
I
from
think
here.
so.
Yeah, we have very great singers and
Eddie Kendricks, was he?
Eddie Kendricks, yeah, because I met Eddie Kendricks years ago when
And that other
I
one
was with
too.
I met Eddie Kendricks years ago before he got really famous. So I moved back here and let me see okay, I got with my kid's daddy. I met him at a football game. Terry Lewis Odom. He came from a very nice family, and my mom, I don't know if we were misunderstood, or we didn't really get along with my mom's husband. And I think one night he put us out. We came back home, me and my sister. She was 5 months pregnant, and I was 5 months with my first son, carrying my first son. It was snowing, and he wouldn't let us in the house. So I assumed he wanted us gone. So I went over to my boyfriend's house, Terry, and his family took me and my sister in for a while. Then my sister wound up going somewhere else, and then I wound up going somewhere else, and I dealt with this lady, white lady, named Thelma Smelly. She was like a mother to me. She had a very big, beautiful home. She took me and Jacoby in, and then she helped me find a project house. Her and her husband, Eugene Smelly, and Thelma Smelly. I worked for her a lot. I ran a lot of her clothing stores and restaurants she would have, and she was like a second mother, because she could never replace my first mother. My mama is a good person, and my mom wouldn't. It wasn't nothing my mother wouldn't do for us, like I say. So I wound up moving in the project, and I met a lot of friends in the project. We would cook, and I learned how to cook through these women. They were older women. I was the youngest one, and because I was too young actually to get a project house, but Thelma Smelly knew the lady who ran the project houses, so she talked to her and got me moved over there. And she said I could have stayed with her forever, but I didn't want to stay. I wanted to move out and do on my own. I wanted to get on my own. So after my one son I had 2 other children, Paige and Terry. I had them. But my street life wouldn't let me alone. I went on to get with a older man, which He was a chief of detectives. I ain't gonna call his name. And he took care of me. And then I went on to get with the love of my life, I can say. And his name is, well, I ain't gonna call his name because he really don't like social media. And I had a daughter by him, so that made me have 4 children. That made me have 1 boy and 3 girls. And he dabbled and dabbled in the devil's work too. And he finally came clean, and we moved. We moved from the project. He bought me this nice, beautiful home that I'm staying in, and he's a very, very good man. And I've been here. He's the one out there in the garden on my video. And I got 26 minutes. Okay. Okay, y'all, I was cut off. That was my husband calling. Telling me that he loved me. So I am loved. Yeah, well, he's not my husband. I take that back. We have been together for, now this gonna really trip y'all out. We have been together for 35 years and never been married. And at first it was me wanting to get married. I wanted to marry him, and I went and bought all my little marriage stuff, like my flowers and my little doohickeys, because I was going to do my own wedding because I'm that type person. I dibble and dabble into decorating and making earrings and jewelry and all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to do my own wedding. So it finally stayed out there in the barn, and it ain't no good no more. Now he wants to get married. Now I'm looking like I'm finna be 60. I can't wear that nice, pretty, back out, low cut wedding dress now. You know, so I tell him, I said, well, if you do want to get married, which he do, he's the one wanting to get married now. Let's go to the courthouse and get it over with. Come on to the house. So, yes, that is my story in a nutshell. Not all of it, the PG version of it. Yeah. And I'm just a grandmama raising my 14 grandchildren. They stay here all the time. They run around, they here, they there. Look at here, here's some right here. Let me show you. I'm gonna turn the camera around. Well, yeah, see my grandbabies? I got 2 of them this morning. So I got my hands full raising grandchildren. They will not let me be me. They'll let me be grandma, granny. They call me granny. Granny! So that's the one I'm raising. Come here, Colin. And she's so blessed to have them. Look, yeah, because mine's 17 and 12. I wish I had a little one. Look. Come here. Yeah, come here. I'm gonna put you on the camera. Well, here we go. Oh, this my little, as my son, dad or brother, husband said, my little half breed. Yeah, so I'm here at the house now, raising grandchildren and farming and living this good country life. I love the country. The city don't owe me nothing. City don't owe me a thing. And I do have still get in contact with a girlfriend up there, Iris Clowney. And she's my best friend. She ran them streets with me. I ain't running by myself now. But she ran them streets with me, and I still get in touch with another girlfriend up there, Sheila Holland. And I have several friends I deal with still up there in Baltimore. We'll go visit every now and then. up there in Baltimore. And Baltimore's become a tore down place. Yeah, like Baltimore don't owe me nothing. I'm gonna just say that. And I'm out. Unemployed? No. What do you call it? Disabled. Raising grandchildren. Sitting on a swing, swinging. Hey, hey, hey!
Hey, hey,
Cooking with your girl, Judy.
hey.
Hey, y'all. I had to come back and tell y'all about this. I guess y'all just say she just love talking about herself. But this is one of my biggest accomplishments that I had going on in my life. I owned the only braid shop in Birmingham, Alabama. In 1979, I bought that braid shop. It was no braid shops nowhere in Alabama. I don't know if it was somewhere else. But in 79, when I moved here, I owned a braid shop. I didn't actually get my shop until like maybe 2 years later. My husband purchased it for me, and I had booths that I was renting out, and most of them did hair. Most of the women in there did hair, and he was at the time working with Honda. He was a manager at Honda, and he owned a club called the Odyssey Lounge. It was like a roadhouse. It was fighting in there every night and everything like that. It wasn't no good lounge somewhere where I would hang out at. I never did go to the club because it was like a lot of mess going on in the club. A big club. It was called the Odyssey Lounge in Lincoln, Alabama. And he was working at the time. He was manager at Honda in Lincoln, Alabama. And I owned the first braid shop in Alabama. I'm gonna say Alabama, the whole Alabama, because there were nobody. When I moved here, I was getting my hair was braided. So I went to braid shops in Baltimore. So I had to learn how to start doing my own braids in order to keep my braids up. And it was called We Do Styles and Creations. So that is one of my biggest accomplishments that I had in my life. And the disability took me out because I had, from standing up all the time, braiding hair, because I was braiding hair like the 4 or 5 o'clock sometime in the morning. Heel spurs. I have heel spurs, and I have carpal tunnel. You know, sometimes if I'm cooking and you see this real big knot in the way, it comes from the carpal tunnel.
Malfighter too. Malfighter.
Oh, and I do have fibromyalgia. I have a nerve problem. So I do have fibromyalgia also. And I just want to come back and let y'all know that was one of my biggest accomplishments, was having a braid shop. And the worst thing that ever happened to me that I don't disagree with is my feet. I got the ugliest feet. My sister said, no, she didn't. I have the ugliest feet and toes. So that's one thing I don't like about me. That's the only thing I don't like about me, my toes. My toenails are ugly and my feet are ugly. But okay, y'all, I'm gone. Peace out. Peace.